sometimes the best leadership happens when you step away for 10 minutes.
This is Back in 10.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Back in 10 with
Savanah
and Jen. So on today's episode, you are going to get to know a little bit more about my lovely co-host, Savanah. So, my dear,
Yes.
I'm so excited. So, if you did listen to episode 2, I wore this blazer just for Savanah today because she talked about the first time that we met. I was wearing a yellow blazer, and I said, I need to wear it for her today. So there you go. This is for you, my friend. Yes.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you still have it.
I know, right? You can borrow it sometime if you want to. Yeah, anytime.
Yes. Heck yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Goals.
Yeah. Oh, it wouldn't be the first time that we matched when we wore something. So, we'll go for it.
It sometimes it is a little eerie, like when we just show up places like the airport at 3 a.m. and we're literally in the same exact black pants, black sweatshirt with a blue jean jacket or a white jean jacket, but we're always wearing the same exact thing with our white tennis shoes.
I know. It's kind of creepy. And the same lipstick. We did that. And the same music. That's another problem. That we'll have to talk about that someday. Oh Lord. Okay.
That was freaky.
Well, my dear.
Yes.
Why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about you and about, how you got into dentistry and, just tell us a little bit. What do you like to do outside of, I'm going to say in your world outside of dentistry? Tell us.
Sure. I mean, okay. I did not have any interest in the dental world when I was in school. In fact, I literally loathed the dentist. Although I liked going to my pediatric dentist because he was a looker. He was fine. He's going to listen to this. I know he is. And it's okay because I'm no longer a child and it's fine.
You're no longer a patient, so it's good. It's good.
He made going to the dentist enjoyable, right? But other than that, I really dislike the dentist. And I had no intention of getting into dentistry. I went to a liberal arts college and I got a bachelor's of English. What do you do with a bachelor's of English? But I also got a bachelor's of theater. What do you do with a bachelor's in theater? Who knows? Well, what I did was I went after I graduated and I worked for Warner Brother Pictures for Harry Potter here in Boston. We had the beta exhibition for the Harry Potter exhibition. I know there is one recently here in Boston, and everyone was saying, oh my gosh, it's the first time. Back up. Back up. It was not. Actually, the first time was back in 2010, and I was managing it. So I will come at you. Anyway, so yeah, I got to use my theater degree doing that. That was a very cool experience. That was one of my first real world leadership jobs. I mean, prior to that, I've been working since I was 13 years old, and it started with a summer camp in my town. And my sister and I just, I guess, are natural leaders. We led leadership committees in our high school. And then by the age of 16, I was running this summer camp of 100 kids and 15 to 16 teenagers, my age, staff. And that was a really great experience. And I owe a lot to my boss then, Adrienne, if you're listening. I absolutely love you and admire you to death. She gave me the autonomy to learn how to be a leader, and she was very gentle in her leadership style with corrections and feedback. And I feel like that's where I built a strong foundation of being able to get and receive feedback because of her gentleness and willingness to give it, right? So I found that helped me a lot with my manager position at the Museum of Science during that exhibition. And I was able to use my theater degree. It was a lot of fun. Okay, but then when that ended, my mom and my stepdad were running a dental practice. And they said, you want to come in and file some charts. And I was like, yes, I need money. And this practice was on paper charts still. So I would go in at night and file paper charts. And then I would come in during the day, later in the afternoon. And there was one afternoon, the phone just kept ringing and ringing and ringing. And the other front desk team members were not answering. They were eating their lunch and or snacking, and one of them was on the back phone talking to their boyfriend, and this phone was just ringing. And so
a ringing phone has to be answered. Mm-hmm.
And I was just, the boldness got ahead of me, and I picked up the phone and I said, "Hi, this is Savanah. Thank you for choosing blah 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 blah. How can I help you today?" And I had no idea what they were talking about. They're like, "I need to reschedule my filling appointment for number 31 and number 30 OM and MOD." And I was like, yeah, okay, you know what? Let me put you on hold for a moment, and I will get the right person who will be able to help you reschedule that appointment. And so I told the girl in the back, I'll call her Susie. I'll go, "Susie, there is a patient on the phone. It was ringing a lot. Could you help me, please?" She's like, "You answered the phone now?" And I said, okay, this is where the grace comes in. I had to take a breath and be like, "No, but I thought you may need help because it just kept ringing. So I didn't want the patient to wait. So they're on hold if you could pick that up." Okay, and then I keep filing my paper chats, and I go to bring in a chat into the office manager's office, and he said, "Did you just answer the phone?" And I was like, "Friggin' great. I don't officially work in this practice, and I'm already going to get fired because I answered a phone." And I said, yeah, I did. I did answer the phone. And then he said, "Well, do you want a job? Do you want to work full time here?" And I said, "Well, I don't know anything about dentistry." And he said, "You don't need to know dentistry. You need to know people. You just answered a phone without knowing dentistry, right? Did you die?" And I was like, "Well, no, I guess I didn't die. So yeah, okay, let's try this. Let's do this." And then I just worked my way up from every position in the front desk team. Check in, check out, insurance coordinator, social media marketer, built out a whole adult dentistry side of this practice because it was a pediatric to start. And then I transitioned to a new practice and really blossomed there and learned all the dentistry I could. And I was very lucky that the dentists I worked for were also educators, and not just within the dental schools in Boston, but with their team. They always promote education, and I always love to work for people and with people who want to learn. Yeah. And I was within the practice for almost 13 to 14 years. And then I transitioned into a dental organization and was a member service director. And now I'm the director of business development for a local dental management company. So that is my career in a nutshell. That's very Cliff Notes, but I still get to use my theater degree because people love the accents. And sometimes
I'm telling you, in preparation, I went through the archives of my phone because I keep every picture and video, and actually found a video where I asked you to we were doing a raffle at a study club, and I said, "Okay, can you do an accent for this one?" And you did. There's multiple accents. I am that person that when Savanah and I have done roundtables together, I'm like, "Can you do this one in a British accent? Or could you do this one in this accent?" And she will do it. And I think everyone really enjoys it and thinks that we're a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs at the same time, but it works, man. So on that note, okay, I have a question for you, and I would like for you to answer it like you were at the Harry Potter. expedition.
Yes, love, of course. How would you like me to answer? What would you like me to answer? What was your
Thank you,
question?
dear. Okay, you ready? So, in a dental office, as dental leaders, we
Yes.
all wear many hats. Many.
Yeah, of course.
What is the what is the weirdest non-dental skill that you have had to master through your role in a dental practice?
The weirdest non-dental skill. Well, I mean, okay. The weirdest one, we did this team building exercise where we're like, okay, we're going to write down anything that did not go well for us this year. We're going to put it in a jar, or a bowl or a jar, and we're going to light it on fire in the practice. And I had to figure out how to do that without setting off the smoke alarms. That's probably the weirdest thing I've had to, master, because we would do this quite often. It was like a cleanse of the bad juju. And yeah.
Okay. Like
I
your
mean, other
body.
than that, I also was like IT. I was also the plumber. I was also the
Mhm,
vacuumer. I was an interior
mhm,
designer. That was fun.
mhm.
If you've never
Yeah.
done a reasonable practice, man, if your
Yeah.
dentist trusts you with design work and you get to do that, that's amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's probably the weirdest thing. Not the
Yay!
safest
I
one.
love
Hopefully that
you.
insurance policy doesn't go up for that practice. No.
Oh, I love it. Okay, let me think of another one.
Okay.
Complete this sentence for me. Okay.
God, I'm
You
nervous.
know you're a dental practice leader when?
Yes. You know you're a dental practice leader when you eat your lunch in 10 seconds while talking to a patient about their insurance and also going over their $10,000 treatment plan, which they don't want to pay for, but you have to help them also apply for patient financing, and you have team members in the back fighting.
That's a
By
lot.
by the way, Savannah, are you also standing on one leg and patting your head with one hand while you're eating your lunch
Yeah.
with the other hand? I'm just curious, like,
Yeah, that
is
would
that
probably
part of
be an
it?
Yeah.
accurate statement.
It's,
Yeah.
I mean, what office managers, and even, I mean, there are even treatment coordinators, patient coordinators, the front desk team members they're not bound to one title. Like there is, and truthfully, in the practice, unless you're an associate dentist, everyone does a lot of everything. The
Mhm.
dentist might be the dentist owner. They might
Even
have a lot of,
associate dentist though too. It depends on the associate, but
but depends on the associate. True.
mhm.
But
Mhm.
like your dental assistant, I mean, she could also be in charge of ordering supplies. She could also be your HIPAA compliancy officer.
Mhm.
Your social media coordinator could also be your
Mhm.
insurance coordinator. There are multiple hats that everyone wears, and honestly, I was not the only one to have to do all of that at once.
Oh yeah. Yep. At the same time. Mhm.
I mean, I
Yeah.
hope you weren't looking for a one-word answer because it was not going to happen.
No, no. I would never expect that. No.
I'll
Seriously,
just
Ben.
say this. I'll just say this. In
What?
working and having worked with both of you over the course of the last several years, I have learned that there are no such things as one word answers, and it's phenomenally fantastic.
Thanks, Chris.
You
AKA
know what,
Wizard.
Chris? If you get a one-word answer, you better run.
Yeah, I was going to say, I better run and hide.
Yeah.
One-word answers from any office manager
Mm.
is a sign of doom.
There's something going on.
Doom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
Not
Mm-hmm.
geared towards you necessarily,
No. No.
but it's
No.
about to go down if there's a
Yes.
one-word
Okay.
answer.
So I
Yeah.
have a question. I'm going to build off that real quick, right?
Yeah.
So if if y- how would someone what should someone in the dental practice do? Let's say I am the treatment coordinator, right? And
Yeah.
I come to you, Jen, and I ask a question and you give me a
Mhm.
one-word answer.
Yep.
But the question I have is a very serious question that I need you to
Yep.
help me with.
Mhm.
What should I do?
You could ask, is there something that I can do to support you?
Mm.
As leaders, we are very rarely asked that question. We're always the one that's asking it. We're never the ones that is the recipient of that question. Sometimes your leader just needs a bone. They need they need you to say, is there something that I can do to help you? Is there something that I can do to support you right now? Can I take anything off of your plate? Because there might not be, but just the fact that you asked is going to make them take a break and take a breath for a second. And maybe they need to step away and go listen to a podcast for 10 minutes. Maybe they need to step away and go get some water or go get some tea or coffee or anything. They need a moment. And if you don't have a signal or something to tell each other that you're having a moment, you need just ask what you can do to support them. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Savanah, one last question for you, my dear.
Okay, I'm ready.
What are you hoping that our listeners get from this podcast?
A break. I hope our listeners get a break. I hope that things that we discuss on here, it helps them become more efficient and energetic about what they're doing, that they're able to take the break.
Yeah.
Take your break. You deserve your break. I mean, even if you're only afforded 5-minute breaks, like, depending on your state, please check your state laws, people. I'm going to say that first and foremost, everyone needs to abide by their state laws. If you do not have an HR company, we can recommend some for you. Yes. But if you are the sole HR person, make sure you know your employee laws for your state when it comes to breaks and time off, especially time off. We will talk a lot about PTO. Everyone knows I'm an advocate for PTO. I will get on a soapbox. You work to live. You do not live to work. You need to enjoy what you do. So that means taking your break. Remembering you're a human being. You're not a freaking robot. You're not a robot. And also recognizing that for your team. Your team. They are your team. I mean, you're thriving from each other. They're not your robots.
Yeah.
They're not your robots. Yeah. Absolutely. So if anyone, I hope that they learn, they take the break. Do what's going to get you in the zone.
Yeah.
Or out of the zone. Or like maybe you need to just like float away for 5 minutes.
Either. Yes.
And you know, you could do that though. You could clock out and listen to Back in 10, right?
There you could go. There you go. And thank you for that, because we're clocking out on this episode. So BRB.
We'll see you later, everyone. BRB. I know that blazer.
I know.
That was the blazer where I fell in love with Jennifer Stedman, office manager. You guys, I take headshots. You know, are we allowed to solicit ourselves on this? I can't solicit other things, but are we allowed to solicit ourselves?
I would say yes. You're just, whoa, wait a minute. Aren't there two there? Don't you have two? Jen, don't you have two? God, my voice just cracked. It hasn't done that in 30 years.
Oh 3. God,
bring out the best in you.
Yeah. Here we go in 3.
I love us.
2, 1.
Thanks for spending a few minutes with us on Back in 10.
If something made you laugh, nod, or feel a little more human, share it with a friend and make sure that you're subscribed.
You can also follow us on Instagram at Back in 10 Pod for more behind the scenes, updates, and probably a little chaos.
We're not here to have it all figured out. We're just here to tell you the things that we wish someone had told us.
And remind you that leadership doesn't have to be perfect, just real.
We'll be back in 10.